We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. And does the unthinkable. He going against the culture. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's talk about it. So Shakur Stevenson's been on an all-out assault and he's been raging. It's a tweet storm. He really going at any and everybody when it comes to people that have criticisms for him. Now, I've already made videos about that. Check the old videos, subscribe to the channel. That's on y'all. I want to talk about this specific tweet, and Shakur, he done lost it. He won versus Artem Harutyunyan. Nobody's disputing that he won. People are only stating their opinion on the quality of the fight and what they feel. And it's America. It's a free country. So people are entitled to their own opinion of how the fight went and what they're willing to pay for. We have that. This is a democracy. So if you're going to patronize somebody's business, you have the right to decide what you want to pay. Like, if I want something to eat, if I want a burger, I have my own money. I can afford a burger. So I can choose which franchise I want to give my money to get that burger. That's an exchange, right? So it's no different in boxing. Certain styles, certain fights, certain matchups resonate more with certain people, and so on and so forth. And then you have people like Gervonta Davis, David Benavidez. You know, their styles are generally usually like pretty universal. A lot of people like watching those styles, right? But Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion, he crossed the line. And I'm going to read the tweet verbatim and explain why. A fan in the midst of Shakur doing this tweet storm, somebody said, fight Pitbull. Pitbull is Eastside Pitbull Cruz, right? So that was their suggestion. I have no beef with that. That's a good fight. Even though it doesn't really make sense because Pitbull Cruz is on the fight with his big brother, Terrence Crawford. He's on that same card against El Rayo, Jose Valenzuela. So really it doesn't make sense. We have to see what happens. Rayo is not a walkover, easy opponent. He's a guy with power. We've seen Pitbull at 140. Haven't really seen Jose Valenzuela, El Rayo in any major fight in that weight class. So we would have to see who wins that fight. So I have no problem with the suggestion. If Pitbull Cruz gets past Rayo, retains his title at 140, then the Shakur fight would be available. Shakur now being a free agent. But in response to Shakur Stevenson being asked to fight Pitbull Isaac Cruz of Manny Pacquiao, I just want to, I believe, he is strong. He has, right? So fight Pitbull, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. This is what Shakur Stevenson said. He says, and I quote, "You know how easy I will make that fight. The black ninjas," and you know what word I'm using, the black N-word ninjas, gonna be hating on me the most while I'm cooking, dude. This man has lost it. What would encourage you to suggest that? Let's really talk about this, right? So he's saying that he would make the Pitbull Cruz fight look easy and the number one detractors would be black people. That's what he's saying. Where did you get that from? Isaac Pitbull Cruz is a Hispanic fighter from Mexico, right? But no, for real, why would he say that? Out of all the racist comments and stuff that I'm sure he's received, why would he suggest that black people would be the first to hate on you for beating and easily beating a Mexican fighter like Isaac Pitbull Cruz? I find that to be a very foolish and distasteful statement from Shakur Stevenson, because you look at where he's from, Newark, New Jersey, it looked like a healthy black crowd, right? And it looked like a good majority of the people that came out to support him were black people. And then you flip it on black people, saying that black people would be the first to hate on you. Now, I did see Terrence Crawford had made a statement too. He said to be your own people. So I don't know what they got going on. We have seen Bud Crawford, when he feels underappreciated, do these same rants where they kind of target the fans and things like that, and like almost do a little bit of like the tough talk. The difference being with Bud Crawford is he's really from the hood. And I'm not saying Shakur's not really from the hood, but Bud was really kind of active in the streets from what I was told, and got shot in the head and, you know, dice games and stuff. He was like kind of really out there, kind of a knucklehead, so to speak. Shakur Stevenson went to the Olympics. So that's like a child actor. That's like Bow Wow, you know, being a blood or something. It's just kind of hard to believe if you was on like Family Matters and you was a child actor and you had money from a young age. Like, I'm sure people were looking out for Shakur because he had talent at a young age and started boxing at a young age, and he showed promise, and he was likely to go to the Olympics with the skill set that he possessed for the amateurs, right? So I'm pretty sure the people like had him doing, you know, golden gloves, silver gloves and tournaments and keeping him pretty active. So it's not like you were moving packs in the street on the side. So with Bud, at least it's a little bit more, you know, it's realistic because Bud he's really a street dude, right? And he's just a great boxer, but he was in the street. But to have your first line of defense be to have and suggest that black people would be the first to hate on you for beating Pitbull Cruz, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I think comments like that is gonna bite Shakur Stevenson, because one, he's now a free agent. This is looking like a promoter's worst nightmare. And I'm not even being funny, but we gotta get boxing. I feel like Batman, and boxing is Gotham City, and I gotta protect the streets of Gotham and the integrity of the sport. So the reason why I'm saying he's kind of a promoter's nightmare is because his valuation of his ability or sellability is really high. But from what fans are saying, it's mid to really low in terms of the fanfare and the excitement and things like that. Literally at ESPN and Top Rank, his final fight, they showed droves of people walking up the stairs leaving his fight prematurely. And Shakur seems to want to blame everybody. First, he said, you know, whatever, it's a hologram. Those weren't real people. How much did Top Rank and ESPN pay those people to show it on camera? Before that, see, I think this is what hurt Shakur there, because he was in the fight. People who were in the fight and at the fight live, they said, oh, nobody, initially they said nobody left the fight prematurely. But then come to find out, ESPN actually televised people leaving and showed, like, which is really kind of weird, but that's what happened. They literally pointed the cameras and showed people walking out their sections up the stairs to exit and leave, like in groups, right? And then on top of that, you had people in the venue in Newark who posted similar videos when they seen it, right? Because, you know, if a fight breaks out or a bunch of people leaving and stuff, people are just going to be filming or focus their camera if they're already filming the venue on, like, hey, what's that? Why is everyone leaving? Blah, 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 right? So initially, the Shakur Stevenson Man fans, they said people didn't leave. But then the evidence was all over Twitter. It was on the ESPN telecast. So you got backed into a corner and the proof was out that people actually left. So you could no longer just say, oh, it was sold out and that never happened. So then Shakur Stevenson started saying that Top Rank or ESPN paid people to leave to make him look bad, like it's some big, huge conspiracy and plot against Shakur Stevenson, which sounded ridiculous. First, you said the people didn't leave, then proof was shown that they left. And then now you're saying that people were paid to leave and all this type of stuff. It sounds ridiculous. And then now you're back on Twitter and like he's literally staying true to the Shakur Twitterson name or whatever. He's just tweeting all day. And these are fantasy fights. We don't know who your promoter is. Maybe he knows, but we don't know. Pitbull has a fight and you're responding to random comments saying how you'll whoop a person who at least looks to be durable. And this is what gets Shakur Stevenson in trouble. What don't you guys understand? I know I got a expensive microphone. I have the golden voice. I know how to use my words and speak eloquently, and I'm speaking clearly. So I'm trying to understand what the disconnect is, why some people are trying to play games with me like they don't understand what is being said. In the words of Chris Tucker, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Because I'm saying them very clearly. Shakur Stevenson, let's try this again, is creating more havoc, more problems for himself because he keeps utilizing social media in a fashion where he's talking. He's talking and foreshadowing and forecasting a potential fight that is not made with Pitbull Cruz, a guy who has an upcoming fight in August, about what he would do to Pitbull Cruz. We already heard you say what you were going to do to Artem Harutyan, both before the fight and even during the fight. You said he's no match for you, and literally in between rounds, you said you were going to stop him. You said, I'm going to stop him. Watch this. Shakur Stevenson even said, if I don't stop him, I'll retire. Those are his words in the middle of the fight. Well, surprise, you didn't stop him. So it's not a mystery like people are trying to make it out to be why fans are criticizing it. I used a perfect example. If Barry Bonds says he's going to hit it out the park, he's going to hit it 450 feet, and he's the best home run hitter ever, and he's going to hit a grand slam, and then he doesn't do it, he would be met with very similar criticism. Oh, you lied, you suck, yada, yada, yada. It's the way of the world. It's the way it goes. Like I said before, a way to at least lessen this is to learn your lesson and say less and stop talking on social media or in interviews where people can clip it up or screenshot your tweet and use it against you. I tell you all the time, the most dangerous thing is the camera and a microphone, the internet and social media, period. And these young fighters are definitely no exception. He's talking about black ninjas would be mad if he beat Pitbull Cruz. First of all, Gervonta Davis beat Pitbull Cruz with one hand. So I don't know who would be mad, especially black people. Why would black people be mad because you beat Pitbull Cruz when we already watched a black person who's bigger than you and he's more popular than you already beat Pitbull Cruz? Because here's the thing. In my honest opinion, we've seen Esau Pitbull Cruz at 140 and his power carried up. He stopped Rolly Romero, right? Tank was the only other person to stop Rolly Romero. So we've seen at 35 and 140, Pitbull Cruz hold a good account of himself. He looks durable. Tank is a far greater puncher than you, and he did mess up his hand, but even the rounds where his hand wasn't messed up, he couldn't stop in those rounds. He didn't stop or drop Pitbull Cruz. So in my honest opinion, if Tank ain't stopping Esau Pitbull Cruz and Rolly ain't stopping or dropping Pitbull Cruz, there's no way possible, or it's very unlikely, we'll say, that Shakur Stevenson would fight at 140 against Pitbull Cruz and destroy him and stop him. You didn't even stop Artem. You have no good stoppages at 135. You have mercy stoppages. What are we talking about? So for me, this is just a bad look for Shakur Stevenson. He seems to be on this full-on meltdown, blaming everybody and a mama, but taking no accountability. He's taking shots at Marcus Brown. He's taking shots at Cameron. He's taking shots at Mason Betha. Si, senorita. Right? So he's going at New York rappers. He took shots at Chris Algieri. He's taking shots at Tim Bradley, Mark Kriegel, Bob Arum, Top Rank, Black Ninjas, the crowd in New York. He was like, you fake dudes that left the crowd and stuff. This man has some real life displaced anger, and it's looking very bad. And then, like I said, now you're saying that pretty much black people will be the biggest haters if you beat Pitbull Cruz. What sense does that make? Please enlighten me and let me know. What sense does it make that black people would feel any type of way because you beat Pitbull Cruz more so than any other race or ethnicity to the point where you would say that. We've already seen a black fighter beat Pitbull Cruz. So what are you talking about? Because as I mentioned, if I'm a betting man, I'm betting that Shakur wouldn't stop Pitbull Cruz. And here's the thing. Shakur talks about like Ryan. He's like, oh, you Osterine boy and stuff like that. But he wouldn't fight Ryan at 143. You know, he's saying that he'll make it look easy and black ninjas will hate on him. But I doubt that he'll move up to 140 to fight Pitbull Cruz. So what are we talking about? You know what I mean? So to me, the fight's not even really realistic until Shakur announces what his next move. Are you independent? Are you a freelance free agent like Crawford? Are you working with Turkey Al-Sheikh, PBC, Eddie Hearn? You know, because that'll determine a lot of things. Because if PBC has names like Rolly, Pitbull Cruz, Rayo, Tank Davis, and certain guys that you want to fight, Carmel Moten, so certain guys that you're willing to fight, then if you don't sign to them, that doesn't really show me that you want to fight them, right? Because you would go where the action's at. So if you don't go where the action's at, that's not going to look good. You know, if you sign to Eddie Hearn or something like that, because how do you want to fight Pitbull, but then don't go where Pitbull's at when you're a free agent? That's not a good business move. So to me, this is just a terrible, terrible look for Shakur Stevenson because he's too all over the place. He's blaming everybody. It's everyone else's fault. Listen, again, it's very easy. If you talk less, you wouldn't be held to a higher standard. You literally said at age 18 or 19 that you believe you would whoop Floyd Mayweather, beat Floyd Mayweather. You can't stop Artem Harutyan. It's not going to give people confidence that you would beat Floyd Mayweather. It's just what it is, bro. You know, you're saying like, oh, watch the whole world. They're going to be on my D when I beat Tank and stuff like that. Even if you beat Tank, it'll probably be in such a horrible fashion where people would just be mad at the fight. They wouldn't even be mad at Tank. It would just be some issue. This is just my honest opinion. It'd be some issue where Tank is trying to cut off the ring and then you're just moving around and running a lot. And I know Shakur is like, oh, I like to stay in the pocket and stuff like that. All right, stay in the pocket with Tank. We'll see what happens. I don't think that would be good. This is not Artem Harutyan. Artem Harutyan was coming off a loss, bro. This is just the cold hard facts. A lot of boxers have egos, so they don't want to hear it. But, you know, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. So I found that statement from Shakur to be really distasteful. Talking about black people would feel a type of way if he beat Pitbull Cruz. What? Pitbull already has, even outside of Tank, he already has another loss. Why would a black person feel a type of way? Why would you think that black people are your biggest hater? See, and that's the thing. I can't respect that, bro. I can't respect that opinion based on the fact that you're making it sound like the only people complaining about your style is black people. And you can go look at the names, faces, and profile pics of the people leaving the comments. And I could assure you it's not all black people. So why would you even make a statement like that and kind of segregate and call a group of people out, black people, and say how they would be negative, but you're not talking about, what about Mexican fans or Mexican American or Chinese or whatever race, white people? You're making it sound like only black people have criticism for you. And again, go on Twitter, go on X, go on Instagram, look in these forums, look on Reddit. It's not just black people saying this stuff about your style. And that's what's making boxing look corny. You got content creators and uploaders who are trying to turn this, oh, blacks just don't want to stick together, and oh, black people hating on Shakur Stevenson, and or you have some people saying like, oh, this is racism at its finest. Bro, it's not racism. Some fights are good and some fights are bad. And I hate that. See, this is a major problem. People are watering down boxing commentary. Love your people. Black excellence. Black pride. I'm all for that. Support black businesses. Not a problem. But that doesn't mean you could just be black and that's it. And it has to be supported, right? So you got people who would try to make it like, oh, you don't like Devin Haney's style or you don't like Shakur Stevenson's style, then you're cooning. But the same people you're saying they're cooning, they actually uck with Gervonta Davis. They uck with Jerron Boots Ennis. They uck with Carmel Moton. You guys sound stupid. To coon is not to, hey, this particular black style or black person, I don't really like their style. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if it's a pattern and you want some, Grand Wizard stuff where every single black person from Crawford to Errol Spence to Wilder to Carmel Moton to Shakur to Tank, and all throughout this game, you have a Lamont Roach and all these guys, you have a problem with then now we're talking about something different. We see a pattern here. But the same people who throw out these words like, oh, you're cooning because you don't support Shakur Stevenson. People have given Shakur a lot of chances to represent and do what he said he was going to do. If he can't fulfill those shoes at 35, that's not black people's problem. That's a personal problem. And you can't hold people to a standard of promising them something and continually not delivering that in which you promised, and then try to make it a black thing or a race thing. That's not how that works. And it really, truly grinds my gears because it waters it down for the real muff like me who stand for something and have integrity and address the real stuff. And here's the other thing. Furthermore, people will say, oh, you don't like Devin Haney. Oh, you don't like Shakur. You're cooning. But what about Gervonta Davis? What about how Shakur disses Gervonta Davis? Devin Haney and his dad, Bill Haney, they dissed Gervonta Davis. So that's not cooning. It's only cooning when the two, listen, let's be real. I want to be very clear here, and I'm not going to mince my words. Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson, Tank is made the most money and has the best style to watch, period. If you say anything otherwise, I don't believe you. Tank is the most fun to watch. I don't care about what you owe, Undisputed and all that. In terms of bang for your buck and styles to watch, Tank is by far the most exciting out of that trio, period. You can try to bend it, twist it, contort it, no diddy, but that's what it is. He's the most electrifying, period. So it's okay to not prefer or respect Devin Haney and respect Shakur. Like, I respect you got some skills and but that's not, that's not all the way my thing. That's not a problem. That's not cooning. And then you're like, man, but Tank, he's a bad boy. Oh, Carmel Moton. Oh, Jerron Boots Ennis. I want to see him get a big fight. That's not cooning. And y'all know that. So Shakur has a lot of misdirected animosity and hate. And I think this was a foolish way to go about it by saying and suggesting that black people would feel a type of way. Black people are the ones that supported you through your whole career. Partner, what are you talking about? That they be mad if you fought Pitbull Cruz. If you guys have an answer for this, then please let me know in the comment section, because I know, and this is the thing, I know y'all can't prove me wrong because none of y'all got a bigger page than me. I got pages everywhere. Instagram, over 50,000. Facebook, over 50,000. YouTube, over 300,000. Twitter, X, over 10,000. I'm popping. I get comments by the hundreds daily, by the thousands daily. I get your boy Ego, the best in the business. You heard the shout out from Mace. I'm out here. So I get an overview of everything and what people feel. And you're not going to tell me, unless you have a bigger platform on every single platform and you do more impressions, which we can run the numbers on every single. So your Instagram, when we combine your YouTube views and your reach and your paycheck with your Instagram and your Facebook, unless you beat me in every category, which I know y'all muff ain't, because I'm the best in the business and it's not even close, then you can't tell me nothing, because my reach is stupid. My impressions is crazy. I see the comments, and trust me, it's not just black people saying that Shakur Stevenson is boring or have a problem with his style. So stop it. We unpacked.